Hey guys, it's Monday, it's 5 o'clock, it's Know You More Facebook Live time. Let's talk about stress today. So we're going to talk about what it is, what it means, and what you can do about it, how you can deal with it. And I always feel like when I'm talking about stress that I somehow should never be stressed, and that I should, in order to be able to talk to people about how to manage stress, that I somehow should be perfectly in control of everything in my life. And then I kind of remember that actually stress is completely normal, natural part of life, and it's kind of there for a reason. And that doesn't mean that I haven't kind of found some really awesome tools to help deal with it and to share with you guys today. And that's part of the point and what we're talking about as well, that it's a kind of natural thing. So what is stress? Is it anxiety? Is it feeling of overwhelm? Is it something long term, something short term? Is it bad for us? We kind of hear about all these detrimental effects of stress. It's bad for your physical health. It's the cause of a lot of different types of disease. It's bad for our mental and emotional health. It stops us from focusing well on what we're doing. Is it really that bad for us? I don't really think that's the whole picture, because actually it's there for a reason. It's designed as a response to a stimulus of some kind, to make us do something, to give us energy. Adrenaline and cortisol give us energy, make us feel stronger, make us really alert, so that we can kind of take action and do something when we're in the presence or the face of something that's really challenging us. So it's not just a foe, it's actually there to give us something, and I think that's really important to remember. And in the short term, it's kind of okay for our health. Our bodies can deal with cortisol and adrenaline fine, but it's the kind of longer term stress that can end up being a bit more detrimental for us. And we're going to talk today about a few strategies and things you can do to help you deal with stress, so it remains a bit more short term and you can kind of deal with it when it comes up. Okay, so number one today, we've got 5 as normal. Number 1 today is to get it out, to stop holding on to the stress and to get it out there. Write it down, talk to somebody. Stress also kind of releases oxytocin, which is a social hormone to kind of get you making contact with people, to kind of allow you to release it. Stress is the thing that's actually designed to be dissipated and discharged from your body and out of you. And if you hold on to it and don't talk about it, don't let it out in some way, that's when it kind of lingers and stays there and kind of gets worse. And it's a bit of a cheesy old adage, kind of a problem shared is a problem halved, but actually it's kind of true. And how many times do we kind of reach out to somebody after feeling stressed for ages, and then after talking to them, we kind of feel like a massive weight's been lifted off our shoulders. And the kind of other nice thing about that too is that if someone else is struggling with stress and maybe they're not talking about it, by you talking about it, you might help them to see that they're not alone, and that other people are feeling stuff that's difficult too. So that's the first one, get it out. Don't hold on to it. Stress is not there to be held on to. Number 2, step back if you can. Take a break, get some perspective from what's going on. Often stress can kind of be a combination of things that are happening, that kind of start to pile on top of you, and then you reach a point where it's just really huge and really, really difficult. So by stepping back and being able to get a bit of space, it means that we can pause and then be a bit more productive, because actually when we're stressed, even though we're kind of alert, it's actually quite hard to process and focus on things. So we start to become less and less able to deal with complex problems or situations and less able to focus. I remember when I started working, and if there was loads of stuff on, my good managers would be like, Emily, get away from your desk, go have a break. And I think, God, I've got to keep going because I'm not going to get through it all. There's more stuff than I can do in a day or a week or a month. But actually stepping away gave me a fresh perspective, allowed me to come back and look at things differently. It's really, really useful to either get someone else to tell you to take a break, or to just remind yourself that you need to step back if it feels like it's getting too much. So number 1, get it out. Number 2, take a break, step back. Number 3 is to take action. We've kind of already talked about the fact that adrenaline and cortisol and stress are kind of there to actually make you do something. And if you think about kind of what's within your control and what's not within your control to do something about, as best you can, leave the stuff that you can't control to one side and really focus your attention on what you can control and what you can do something about, and then take action. If I'm feeling really stressed, I normally do things in this kind of order. I'll maybe eventually find a way to kind of talk to someone or take a break. And then I'm kind of like, right, well, I want to do something. I want to change something. If there's stress and you're feeling kind of hyped up about something, chances are something needs to kind of shift and change. So taking action means that that's going to reduce the stress and help you in the longer term and learn from what's going on and what you need to do differently. Number 4 is to get physical. Now, we kind of talked a little bit about this already as well, that adrenaline and cortisol are there to kind of get you to take action, and actually your body deals much better with those stress hormones, those ones that we hear a lot about being detrimental to our health. When we move, it kind of discharges them from our body, it reduces the levels of them in our body, and it also increases the level of endorphins that we have, which are natural mood elevators and pain relievers. So getting physical is really, really helpful in terms of reducing stress levels, and it also helps to kind of clear our head a bit. Going for a walk, dancing, going for a run, doing some kind of sport or physical activity really, really helps us to calm down. And that also leads on to the final point, number 5, which is to be mindful, because actually focusing our body can really, really help us to calm stress down as well. That's because when we get stressed, an old part of our brain called the amygdala, which is like a kind of alarm system that's something wrong, that kind of makes us get into that hyper alert phase, ready to kind of take action, fight or flight or freeze mode. That becomes really active. The amygdala becomes really active in our brains when we're feeling stress. And there's another part of our brain called the insula, which can actually, which is kind of in control of in response and responds to our visceral physical feeling and our sensations in our body. So if our insula is engaged and stimulated, then the volume on our amygdala turns right down, so it doesn't become as activated, and we can actually make the part of our brain, our insula, bigger, and we can actually shrink our amygdala by focusing more on that felt sense stuff, using sport or using mindfulness, meditation, something like that. And it can be really simple stuff. Mindfulness is not kind of sitting down for an hour and trying to really focus on not having any thoughts. It's more about focusing on feeling your body. You can do that in a minute, you can do that in 2 minutes, to feeling all the way down through your body, or focusing on your breath, feeling your feet against the floor, just being a bit more in tune with the present moment, which the insula has a lot to do with because it's about our felt senses. So that's a really good thing to do, and a lot of sports coaches and sports sort of high-level sports coaches use focusing on really small things and to do with the body or sight, again, which is another sense, to help people deal with really, really stressful, high pressure situations. So it's a really useful thing, and it's kind of well documented and well researched that actually really, really works in terms of stress. So those are our 5 tips. So the first one is to get it out, get rid of that problem, share it with somebody, and get some support. Number 2 is step back, get some perspective, take a break, actually step away from it, because I guarantee you will come back with a different frame of mind if you do that. Number 3 is to take action, do something, change something. Stress is telling you that something's wrong and that you need to take action. Number 4 is to get physical, use your body. That will help you to discharge those stress hormones and to increase your endorphins, and also to clear your head. And number 5 is to be mindful. Grow that part of your brain, the insula, that's all about your felt sense, your hearing and your sight and your taste, and reduce the size of your amygdala, which is your alarm system, so that you can handle stress and cope with stress more quickly when it comes your way, which it will, because that's life. And there's never not going to be any challenges, so it's kind of normal to feel those things. So I hope that that's been of use, and that at least one thing or a couple of things will really help you to look at stress in a slightly different way, and to know that it's normal, and also to deal with it a little bit better. So have an awesome week. I'll be back next Monday at 5. Have a good one. Cheers.